Hi and welcome. For the purposes of video, I'm Toy Scourge and I haven't done a video on YouTube for a very long time. 2018 to be exact. Now, before you go scrolling to see any of the other stuff, it's not actually there. I took it all down when all the things with copper related to toy reviews, toy videos or anything aimed at a younger audience came into effect. I took them down because I didn't have the time, I didn't have the means, money, set up. I really didn't have anything going, and the videos, well, if I find any and show you any right now, weren't that great to begin with. So you'll forgive me if I'm not overly excited by showing you anything. But it being 2021 and 2020 being so great, so with the obligatory 2020 joke done and out of the way, I say we take a top 10 look at Transformers generations that I've personally collected over the last 12 months. At number 10, it's Rumble and Ravage from Siege. Yeah, the Siege line is well and truly over, but I looked forever and a day for these two at a decent price, and I'm glad that I waited and found them for the price that I did on eBay, because they are so adorable. And I'm just going to look at Ratbat first, but the detailing in this small guy in most of the Siege and Kingdom and Earthrise lines has been so monumentally good. So yeah, Ratbat on his own is really good. The level of detail on the inside, like little pistons and wheels and mechanical pieces, just looks really good. And the colours they chose and the tones that they've picked not only fit really well in person, but actually really fit well with the overall aesthetic and original look of the first toy. And just look at that punum. That is a cute bat. That is something that'll rip your head off. Now, Rumble's just a cute little tape dude again, but again, the colouring and the level of detail on this is just really good. They've picked out some leg detailing while also still keeping for the tape a flat piece here. So you do get a little bit of molded detail here and there that fits in the robot mode really well, and the head is just a perfect little square while still being really well detailed for how tiny it is. Like, the level of detail in here with the shades and the mouth and the little chin guard is, in my opinion, really good, and this is why these two stood out for me at the number 10 spot. So yeah, number 10, Rumble and Ratbat. There you go. At number 9, it's Quintesson Alucon. The next pick might be a bit generic because it is an army builder figure and there is huge problems like the kibbly arms and just the fact that his transformer mode is just him hunched over with the alligator parts splayed over the top. But in my mind, this guy is one that we've been all waiting for. Any hardcore G1 fan has been waiting for a long time. The level of detail is great. In my opinion, we've been waiting for this very quietly, not from a third-party distributor, for a very long time. And the level of detail, again, especially in the head and the facial sculpt area, is just really good. I can't really find fault with this, again, apart from the kibbly arms and the fact that he's just hunched over in alligator mode, but it's just a cool color choice and a really good addition to an army builder line in the Earthrise line. Yeah, so that's why it takes the number 9 spot in my mind. At number 8, Walgreens exclusive Blue Streak, even though the only thing about him that is blue is his eyes, oddly enough. Yeah, Blue Streak, I had the Siege version, but I let that go as soon as I saw this guy pop up, even if it was another exclusive for another store that I had to go and source out. And it's another clean transformation, the colours really work. The head sculpt, again, I don't think there's a bad head sculpt in any single figure in the last 2-3 years. But it's just the fact that his legs feel a bit more filled out, and yes, it is clear plastic, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, of broken lots online for eBay in 3 years' time. But for now, this deserved to be in the top 10 just for the color scheme, just for the fact that it was a better version of something we'd already had. And Blue Streak itself is just a good character and one that needs a bit more time in the spotlight. So there you go, buddy. At number 7, it's one of a duo. It's Runabout. Runabout? This one. And Runabout taking the next spot, I don't mind either, because it might just be a generic car format. And again, I find a lot of issues in some of the joint placements. But he's dual wielding, his head sculpt is good, the coloring is really good, and it pops so well against the white background, but the red and the black go together so good. It's just, in my mind, apart from the facial crotch, which once you see you can never unsee, is just a really good figure, and Target did well to get this as an exclusive. At number 6, it's Siege Walmart exclusive Wave 2 Bumblebee. So, Bumblebee being on a list, I'm not his biggest fan, and he is, in my eyes, one of the mascots that is instantly recognizable to anyone who hears the word Transformers. This is the guy, or the movie version, that they see in their head when someone says Transformers. Having said that, he does transform really well. Again, can't give enough praise for the head sculpts and how accurate he does look in just Earthrise and the original series. There's just something about it that captures that perfect Bumblebee aesthetic. So yeah, Bumblebee being on this list is a little bit weird, as he's not always my go-to for characters, and just seems quite generic a lot of the time with the amount of figures that he gets. But this little guy being reformatted from Cliffjumper and a couple of other selects this year has just been, I don't know, there's something about this little thing that really got to me. I mean, maybe it's the fact that he's engineered from the Masterpiece that we had a few years ago. But yeah, he's a good little figure. He deserves a place in the spotlight, even though the Bumblebee fatigue, as I'm going to call it from now on, does set in rather quickly. So let's move on. This year seems to be a tidal wave of nothing but exclusives from certain retailers, and number 5 is Walmart exclusive Wave 2 Voyager Soundwave. So yeah, whereas the Bumblebee fatigue sets in within a few minutes, for me the Soundwave fatigue doesn't set in ever. Soundwave is just one of those robots that has a really good aesthetic, a really good look, a really good voice from the original cartoon, good companions for cassette formers, as with my earlier choice in the list. But this figure that transforms into the tape deck was just so well thought out and had to be. It deserved a spot on the list. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot nicer, and the cassettes, albeit having an issue with opening once you get Ravage inside, are really good. There we go. And by cleaner, there's no battle damage or anything like that, and I really appreciate that for a figure. It was a nice idea to have for Siege with the war-torn look of Cybertron, but for a lot of these figures, that doesn't mix very well. Let's move on to Soundwave's 2 extras that he comes with the exclusive Walmart release. It's Ravage and Laserbeak, and they're just remolds or slight remolds of the Siege versions earlier on last year, I believe. But those 2 head sculpts are completely different. We've got like a growling, snarling Ravage, which I think fits better with him. He's still a bit bulky and still a bit weird looking, but it's much better. The one that really shines is Laserbeak, and purely for the bird head and the poise that it holds, and I don't know, how can something this small look so smug that it's just perfect rendition. Plus, on the overside, when you look down, the level of detailing paint makes this just pop all that more. and especially inside the chest cavity, this really does look so good. He's, to my mind, a bit fragile to transform, so I tend to keep him in bird mode, but what a bird mode that is. Winner, winner, chicken dinner in my book for that one. And at number 4, Leader Class Nemesis Prime, another Walmart exclusive. Yeah, this pick for me was a little bit of a shock. I don't normally go in for the repaints, especially for Optimus Primes, but really, who can resist a black repaint? I mean, people love Skywalk for exactly that reason. So I just felt Siege Optimus being a good toy in general, him having a Scourge or Nemesis Prime repaint was really well deserved. And again, it's the same sculpt overall, but it's just those little things that do really good. Now, this figure, as great as it may be, has a couple of things that are a little bit suspect that I had a problem with, but might be minor gripes. Now, on camera, with the lighting being the way it is, or just in general, which one pops more in your eyes? Which one does? Is it A or B? Think of this as an eye test. A or B? There's no contest. Runabout really does pop that so much better, and it's not just the fact that he's got the red translucent, because Prime has it as well. It's just the fact that it's a much matter shade, I'm guessing, or just the shine is a bit better. But yeah, the color works, but it's not as vibrant as it could be, and this is a perfect example of what I mean by that. My second gripe, however, is a little bit more strange. Now, my second gripe might come as a bit of a weird thing to say, but the box itself is quite nice for a spoiler pack. There's no real plastic, so you can see what's on the inside. The box opens up nicely and has a unique way of showing the product once you have it out of the packaging, but it's a spoiler box. If it's a spoiler box, why is there an image of what is inside on the side of the box? Number 3. Generation Selects Rotorstorm. So yeah, when Rotorstorm came up on every single website as a part of the Selects line, I could feel the collective scratching of heads of who exactly is this guy? It's just a really weird retool, remold of Spinister. So me being from England, living in America, this didn't really sell out, and it's still available at this time, I think. But Rotorstorm was one of those things that I saw as a kid on toy shelves, being the original back in like 92, 93, I think, at my local toy store. And he always stood out to me. And I believe that with this resurgence of this character from the European line, we could get quite a few more of the, I think, turbochargers or turbo changes, something. Yeah, there was a whole slew of different things that carried on in Europe after Transformers ended in the States. So I really hope we do get some more remolds of European characters, because this color scheme alone won me over. It's a good mold, and it's a flying Autobot, which is always good. But the head sculpt, again, is just, it's got those cool, like, flight shades, nice helmet, I guess, or head. The legs pop with that silver against the red, and it really has been the year of the red translucent plastic with good detailing over it year, albeit if that's the only thing it's known for. But come on, seriously? How can you not look at this paint job and instantly think 1992? It looks like it's wearing a tracksuit. Exactly the same as Spinister, only in less evil colours. And number 2, Voyager Class Kingdom Cyclonus. Yeah, this is the one that I'm cheating on just a little bit. So yeah, this is where I'm cheating a little bit by adding a brand new Kingdom figure to my top 10 list for this past 12 months. But technically, I got him on the 3rd of January. And with everything being the way it is at the moment, it still feels like 2020. I hate saying it, but it still does. It still feels depressing and dreary and chaotic and crazy. And I felt this figure, it being the way it is, it being designed the way it is, its colorations, even though there is a slight discoloration, but it works to its advantage in jet mode, deserves a place on the list. It deserves a place so highly on the list. And there's just small details throughout, like the underarm, the fact that the gun matches the angle of the arm so he can hold it correctly. The transformation itself, which I'm not going to do because I'm not going to screw it up on camera. What do you think, I'm stupid? Is just so good. And the fact that the light piping is back, and it feels like it's back in a very big way, and this guy feels so menacing with the amount of head poses he can do, and the way he transforms and how he's so clean when he does. He deserves a place on this list. Hands down, next year when there's top 10 lists in 2021, he's going to appear on pretty much every single list, and I will play this back to prove my point for if I'm still making videos in a year's time. So yeah, Cyclonus, well done, well done, well done. Silver medal. On to the next. And number 1, Earthrise Commander Class Skylynx. So yeah, I have pushed my camera back and this back as far as I can. To me, Skylynx being Commander Class just makes so much sense and looks so good with the colors, the detailing, how it looks. There are some QC issues, like most Earthrise figures have had this year, but I really, really love this character, and I know he's a fan favorite, and just little things like that sound and the ratchet in neck and his head, and the fact that if anyone watched the cartoon as a kid, the G1 cartoon with Skylynx in it, you can instantly remember his arrogant voice and his wonderful personality, which I don't mean that ironically at all. He's got great teeth which slot in to form the jet mode perfectly. He swivels back in, and it's a bit of a handle getting him back in, and it's a bit of a handle making these two connect to begin with, and the wings are a little loose, but overall I'm gonna say that this wins out for me for 2020, purely for the magnificence. That's it right there on camera, the magnificence of this figure. He just doesn't really compare with anything else that has appeared on the toy shelf, in my view, in the last 12 months. And that's not just Transformers, that's the Ghostbusters being reissued, or Marvel Legends, or the G.I. Joe figures we're getting. It's just everything pales in comparison to the splendor that is Jetfire. And again, the magnificence. So I think that's about it. So that was my top 10 of the Transformers Generations figures that I've got in the last 12 months. If you didn't see something on the list that you personally think that should have made it, drop a comment if you want. So with everything being wrapped up, I've been Toy Scourge. Have a good 2021. That's all I can say. Yep, that's just like me to be recording all this time and not actually know. So, yay.